In my last video, I did show you how to buy token from PancakeSwap or Uniswap, and in this video, I show you how to sell those tokens on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, whatever decentralized exchange you want to use. And I will keep this video much shorter because I did a lot of explanation already in this video. So we're going to start here by just copying the code that we wrote in this video. You can find the code here on GitHub and under my repository. So under the buy token Uniswap, PancakeSwap, EthasJS repository, just come here to the buy.js file, click here on raw, and you can just copy everything from here. And then inside your code editor, just paste it in. So if this is the first video you watch and you didn't watch the other one, I'm using here Node.js and npm and the EthasJS library. Make sure you have Node.js installed and npm, and then you can install the EthasJS library with npm install ethas -- save. Okay. And yeah, then you have the code here. And really, we don't have to do much. We can use everything the same way, basically. However, there's small changes we need to make. First of all, make sure you use the correct node. I'm using here the Binance Smart Chain. And for this one, I have to use here Quick Node. But if you want to use it on Ethereum, then I suggest to sign up for Alchemy nodes. They are really good, and you can have five nodes at the same time, where Quick Node only gives you in the free plan one node. So the only bad thing about Alchemy is that they don't have Binance Smart Chain, so that's why I have to use here the Quick Node node. Yeah. Also, if this is the first video, I just tell you this. I have here my private key and my public address in the .env file. And this is how I import the .env file and then use it here in this script. But again, if you really don't know how this works, and just watch the previous video that I uploaded. So now what we need to change here is a few things. First of all, I explain you how token selling works. To buy this token, so I'm using here my own token. It was the Yorkie token, and I bought it in the previous video with wrapped BNB. And in this video, we want to sell the token back to wrapped BNB. When we used here, before we used the swap exact ease for tokens supporting fee on transfer function tokens. And now, of course, we want to swap back the token for ease. So in this function, we have to say swap exact tokens for ease supporting fee on transfer tokens. I'll show you this in a second. On the router, you find the exact function here. And since we do it all backwards, we have the path is not wrapped BNB anymore, and the token, it's the token. It's first of all, we have the token, and then we have wrapped BNB, so we have to change this here. And in order for the PancakeSwap router to use our token, we have to approve the token. And for this, we have to create here a new instance of a smart contract. And this is the token contract. We already have the token address of the token up here. See token to buy. What else we need is the ABI. So I create here a variable const token ABI. Token ABI, just like so. And then we paste in the ABI of the token. And we also need to create a contract instance. And we do this const token contract. And this is new ethers dot contract. And we need the token to send, or the token to buy. So this is the token address, and also the token ABI. And since we call the approve function and the approve function makes a transaction, we also have to use the signer. So let me go here to the PancakeSwap router. So yeah, like I just said, in order for the PancakeSwap router to use our token, we have to create here an approve function. And when I come here to my Yorkie token, this is a standard ERC20 token with some additional functions. And under write contract, you find here the approve function. And in this approve function, if we were to use Binance Smart Chain, if we will connect here to MetaMask, we can call this function from here. We set here the spender. The spender is the PancakeSwap router address. And of course, we have to specify the amount of token we want to sell. This token has 9 decimals, and let's say I want to sell 10 tokens. It would be 10, and then we have to add 9 decimals. I didn't count this, but something like this. And then we actually can approve the token. And in the next step, we call on the PancakeSwap router this function with swap exact tokens for each supporting fee and transfer tokens. Then we use the 10 tokens that we want to sell. We can leave the amount out minimum as 0. We have to use the pass. Actually, this is wrong. It would be Yorkie first and then wrap BNB, because first we want to send the Yorkie token and then we want to receive wrap BNB. The address would be the address that receives the wrapped BNB. And of course, in case the transaction gets stuck, we can add, or we have to specify a deadline. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 fields. Now let's go back here into our script. But before I have a surprise, before we do this, I created here a master Web3 development course on Udemy. This is really a beginner-friendly course about blockchain development using Ethers.js. You will learn everything about connecting to the blockchain, interacting with smart contracts, sending transactions, listening to events, creating wallets, and much more. Since it is done with JavaScript and Node.js, if you have experience in JavaScript and Node.js, it definitely helps, and the course is going to be really easy for you. But even if you do not have any experience with JavaScript, you can still follow along this course because it's really beginner friendly and you can still learn a lot from this course. It's a paid course, it's on Udemy. I'm glad if you will buy the course because it also supports my YouTube channel. Okay, so yeah, this is some advertising here. Now let's go back to our script and add these functions. So actually, let me get the API first. So from my Yorkie token, I just grab here the whole API. You could just only use the approve function, but I just copy everything. So yeah, because we also need the decimals. So yeah, just copy the whole API and it really doesn't hurt anyways. But you could also just make an API for the functions that you want to call. Then you don't have the whole blob of the API like this. So now let's create here the approve function inside of our main function. But before you do this, actually, let's create here the approve function first. Const approve is await, and we have to call the approve function on the Yorkie token contract instance. So we do await token contract, and then we do .approve. And for the approve function, we needed 2 things. This was first of all the spender address, the address that we approve. So this would be the router address. And of course also the amount. So I can just copy this from up here. Let's cut this. We can delete this stuff here. And I paste it above the approve function. So we have the spend. We have to make here a change. We're not going to parse ether. We have to parse units. And we want to sell 10 token. And the Yorkie contract has 9 decimals. So we can write here 9 decimals. But since we already have a contract instance, we can just call the decimals function on here. So we can do const decimals is await token contract dot decimals, and then therefore we can make this a little bit more dynamic, and we just replace here the 9 with the decimals. And you can just, you don't have to always change these things. It automatically does this for you when you run the decimals function. Converts the into correct units. So basically it adds to the 10 here 9 decimals. And therefore we also need here to use the spend. So this is the amount. So we approved the router address to spend 10 Yorkie token for us. We can also add here some gas price, and we can just copy the gas price from over here, because this is going to stay the same. So now we have our approve function ready. Now we have to change here a few things, and the buy function we already changed here the function name, swap exact tokens for ease. Supporting fee on transfer tokens would be now the correct function that we have to call. Then we have to set the amount that we want to spend. So again, I'm using here the spend variable, and this would be the amount out minimum. We can just leave this at 0. Then we already changed this from wrap BNB to token to buy, and then we receive wrap BNB. Address stays the same because I want to receive the wrap BNB back on my address. And we also have the date. So in case the transaction gets stuck after 10 minutes, it will get aborted. We can, of course, delete the value over here because we don't need it, because we're not sending any wrap BNB or any BNB to buy token. We want to actually get wrap BNB back. So also for the buy function, we only need the gas price. You could in addition use the gas limit, but it works also without the gas limit. That's why I didn't use it. And this is actually it. Let me just double check. So we have the node, we got everything, the address, we got the router address, perfect. Yep, this is it. If I run this, then we should get at the end a transaction receipt. So let me run this with node cell.js. And if I didn't make any errors, we now sell token for wrapped BNB. Okay, it takes a little. Okay, perfect. So we got the transaction hash. Let me just copy this. And let's go here to BSC scan. And let's double check here the transaction. Perfect. So we have the status successful. So everything was successful. We can see here the block number, timestamp, who sent this transaction. This was my address. We interacted with the PancakeSwap router address in order to swap the tokens. And we sold 8.9 token. Now this is, of course, because the Yorkie token is a text token. So it adds some text to every transaction. So this is a little bit less than the 10. Because it's about 10, 12%, 11%. And if you deduct 10%, yeah, it's 12%. Something like 12, 13% from 10, then it gives you 8.9. So it's, yeah, it's accurate. And we received back 0.04 wrapped BNB. Just click on the address here. And we can see here, first we call it the approve function. And then we use the swap exact tokens